Okay, so let's continue. So the etzem and neshama is b'derech klal concealed, and it's hidden, and it's not expressed in the person's day-to-day life and in his. Now over here we're saying that it's the job of the Moshe Rabbeinu of the Ayim Mehemne to be megala the etzem and neshama. So he said over here two different ways. One way he said is, for example, by Moshe Rabbeinu, where he was megala the etzem and neshama, and now the Yidden have a das and a likus. Now they can connect and understand the likus that Moshe Rabbeinu is teaching them. So over here, do you see a pa'ula of the etzem and neshama? Do you see the etzem and neshama? No. The etzem and neshama was niskala. It was revealed in the sense that now it's expressing itself in the fact that it connects the yid to likus, that he can understand the likus. But do you see over here the etzem and neshama? You don't see the etzem and neshama so much. What do you see? You see the person learning a likus, learning das. He's learning Torah and he understands a likus. You don't see something that's an expression really of the etzem and neshama. Okay, so it's not behelim, it's begilui in the sense that it's having an effect on the keiches hagluyim, it's having an effect on the person. But what do you see when you look at it? You see a person who's learning Torah. You don't see something that looks like it comes from the etzem and neshama. Okay, then you have the etzem and neshama the way it was niskala in the times of Gzeres Haman. The time of Gzeres Haman, when the Yidden were standing with Mesiras Nefesh, even though it could cost them their life, and for a whole year they performed Torah and mitzvahs with Mesiras Nefesh. So over here you say, wait a second, what's going on over here? The person is willing to throw away his entire life, his seichel, his midas, everything that he has, his life itself. He's willing to throw it away. So over here you see clearly that there's something that's beyond all of that. Something that in day-to-day life, on a regular day, doesn't express itself, isn't part of the story. But in the time of Mesiras Nefesh, you see by the person's willingness to give up his own life for something. So you see over here, oh, this must come from the etzem and neshama. And over here, we actually revealed the etzem and neshama in a much more significant way than it was by Moshe Rabbeinu. That's why it says in the Maimer that the Raya Mehemna, this pashtus of Moshe that's in every generation, reveals the etzem and neshama much more than Moshe Rabbeinu himself. Because when Moshe Rabbeinu himself revealed the etzem and neshama, what was the effect that you saw on the person? That he was learning Torah and understanding a likus. You can't really detect over here the etzem and neshama. Mashenkin in the times of the Gzeira, when you had this pashtus of Moshe revealing the etzem and neshama of a yid that he should have Mesiras Nefesh on Torah, in the Mesiras Nefesh that he has for Torah and mitzvahs and for Yiddishkeit, over here you see the etzem and neshama is revealed. Because it's the etzem and neshama that forces him, even though he's going to lose everything that he has, to still go on Mesiras Nefesh.
The definition of etzem and neshama is do or die.
No, the definition of the etzem and neshama is that there is something that's so important to me that nothing else matters.
Which means that you're willing to die.
Yes, correct.
That's it. So it's the point of it. It takes your whole existence and pushes it to that point. Are you willing to die for this?
It takes your whole existence and focuses it on what's really you. Really me is to be connected to the Eibishter. And if anything would want to disconnect me from the Eibishter, I'm giving up my life for it. So it focused, it brought into relief, into sharp relief, what really you are. You are something that's connected to likus. You're hiskashus in likus. That's what that's Neshama is. And therefore, when something tries to tell you to cut off that connection to likus, you say no. I'll give up everything, but my connection to likus will remain. And that's the meaning of the Mesiras Nefesh. And that's why it's the agila of that Neshama.
Even if it means that you're going to be killed.
Yeah, because at least there's something more important. Because there's something that's more important to me than my life.
My life. Okay.
Which is my connection to the Eibishter, because that's the core and the essence of what I am. That's my atzmus. That's my atzmus. Okay. Now over here, the Rebbe is going to.
And Moshe Rabbeinu wasn't able to do that, or was it didn't warrant it,
We'll touch on it a little bit weiter, but it wasn't warranted. It's dafka. It's like I said, in day-to-day life, in regular occurrences, that neshama doesn't come out. It's not chas shon because of chasam Moshe Rabbeinu. It's because of that wasn't the aveda of the time. Okay. So over here now, from test till the end, the Rebbe is going to teach us an entirely new way that reveals the etzem haneshama. And this way that reveals the etzem haneshama reveals the etzem haneshama in ways that even Mesiras Nefesh can't reveal. Okay? And with that, we're going to start learning insight. V'hinei hakasu v'kibel hayudim es shechel lasis medaber b'pashtus is test. Medaber bepashtus bazman shel achri hanes to Purim. The pasuk v'kibel hayudim that the Yidden accepted upon themselves to make Purim into a Yom Tov and a day of Mishleach Manis and a Soda and reading the Megillah. So this pasuk is actually talking about after the time of Mesiras Nefesh, after the time of the Nes when the Yidden were saved. V'yishleimu d'mashakasav b'mayim d'pirish v'kibel hayudim es l'shvechel nasis hu shebimeach hashveish kibel mashechelu b'zman matan teira. So earlier in the Maimah we brought down from the Fidik Rebbe that V'kibel Hayudim means that through the Mesiras Nefesh, through the time that was before the Nes, the time of the Gzeda, the Yidden finalized accepting the Torah, something that even b'matan Torah they couldn't achieve. Why? Because they were Megala their Etzam Haneshama through the Keich of Mesiras Nefesh that they had then. Nevertheless, the Rebbe says it must be that the Fidik Rebbe's Pirush and V'kibel Hayudim also applies to the time when the pasuk Bepashtus is talking about, which is the time after the Nes, when there was no Mesiras Nefesh, when the Yidden were saved and secure. So according to this that the Yidden accepted the Torah and finalized their acceptance of the Torah in the times of Achashverosh, there were two levels. There were two things that happened over here. There was the acceptance of the Torah that was through their Mesiras Nefesh, as was explained in the Fidik Rebbe's Maimer, and like we learned in detail in earlier shiur. And then there was something new, a second thing, the acceptance of the Torah, which was after the Nes of Purim, which is when the pasuk V'kibel Hayudim Pashtus is talking about. Which is actually an even higher level of accepting the Torah than was during the time of the Gzeda, as will be explained shortly. So too, when we say that Kasis Lamoy, which we touched as follows, that through the crushing effects of Golus, we reach the Moy, the source of light. The Etzem HaNeshama, the Shnei Yonim, is that there's two things in this. There's two ways, there's two times when the Etzem HaNeshama is revealed. One time is that the Yidden find themselves in a situation of kasis. Why are they crushed? Why? Because of the Gzedus, because of all of the Gzedus that the Goyim place upon them, and all of the trouble and suffering that the Yidden go through the Gzedus of the Goyim. And they don't allow them to perform Torah mitzvahs, as the situation in the world was when the Fidik Rebbe said his Maimer, and through these challenges of the Goyim trying to stop the Yidden from performing Torah mitzvahs and living like Yidden, so they reach the essence of their neshama, which overcomes and powers through these challenges. However, there's also a second inyan where a Yid feels crushed, and that reveals his essence. Even when we're living in our times, when Yidden find themselves in a situation of harchava, it's a different typesetting. It doesn't look the same over there. Let me find it over here. But it's what is this? Here. Yeah, right over here. So also when Yidden find themselves in today's day and age, where they have everything b'harchava, everything is good, there are no gzeiros on them, they have harchava begashmius, v'gam harchava beruchnius, everything is good side begashmius and side beruchnius. There's only one problem, elashem nimtzaim begolus. The only problem is that the Yidden find themselves in the time of golus. Which this is comparable. This is a correlate to the situation that existed after the Nes of Purim. The Yidden had everything good and great. The Pashtus, literally, v'gam beruchnis, and also spiritually. Even the house of Haman and all of his belongings were given to Esther. They even had the Maila of Ishapcha in the time after the Nes of Purim. But there was one problem. They weren't Yidden, free Yidden under a Yiddish king, and without anybody imprisoning them. They were still imprisoned by Achashverosh and Golus. They're broken and crushed from this that they are in Golus. So everything is good. He has a good life, begashmis in health and in wealth and in happiness, and also in ruchnius. He could learn Torah without anybody bothering him. He could daven. He could do all the mitzvahs he wants to do. But he's in Golus, and the fact that he's in Golus crushes him. And through this, that a yid, you look at him and you see that he's crushed. You see he's in concentration. Something is bothering him. And you tell him, what's the matter? Everything is good. You have everything you need. Why are you unhappy? Why are you edgy? Why do you feel that you have to do something that you can't just sit and relax and be and live a good life? He tells us, hey, I'm in Golus. When you see a yid like that, he says, because I'm in Golus, I cannot rest and I can't find peace with myself. That's an expression of the essence of the neshama. That's a kosis, that I'm crushed, not from the tzaras, not from the gzeiras, not because I have to have nesiris nefesh. I'm crushed because of Golus. I have no gzeiras, everything is good, but it's Golus. This crushes me to my core. So through this, you reveal the essence of the neshama, and Deb is going to explain it. Why is it taka that Yidden are broken? Just from the fact that they are in Golus. Even though they're in a situation of Golus, like our times now, where everything is Bar Chava, Sai Begashmis, and Sai Beruchni is, keep saying everything is Bar Chava. It's hard to say these days everything is Bar Chava when we have 100 over 100 captives. May they able to release them immediately. In Eretz Yisrael,
over 100.
Over 100 are being held captive.
They're still under hostage.
They're still hostages.
The inflation here in America is also not good.
And not only that, I'll try to go to Columbia University and they don't let me.
They don't let me
in.
So things changed a little bit.
If you have
Right.
If you have that,
right.
So then.
So they come to remind us that's Mishnah again.
No, but that's not the ending of Kasisma. That's the ending of Mesiris Nefesh.
All these events that are happening is to remind us that that you think you have you think you have it, but the truth of the matter is that things are still messed up. You're in Golan.
We have the Biden.
No, you have the Harchov and everything, but you think you have it. You don't know. You don't really have it. Why? Because look what's happening in the world.
We're still out there, Biden.
It's a bit.
Yeah,
look,
it's a bit. It's whatever you want to call it. But the point is, you don't really have it. No. You think you have it. It's an illusion.
Correct.
It's a bit above my pay grade.
Can you imagine a father from somebody, a child that's there now,
or a child from a father that's
there? Yeah, I'm just saying that's it. So we don't.
What?
Once Rabbi Mangel,
so
once Rabbi Mangel expressed the same point. He says,
our brothers are now there.
Yeah.
The father, the parents of a child that's in a hostage, is he?
Once Rabbi Mangel expressed a certain point. He said,
and the hostages themselves.
Concentration camps when he was a little kid. He had to shovel literally the bodies into the ovens. That was his job as a little boy.
Yeah.
So he once came for bringing. He says, I guarantee you that there was more Elokus being Megala of the ones that had to shovel the bodies in those 1930s. He says, than a Jewish boy eating some ice cream in East New York in the 1930s.
Okay, yes, look,
but that's the whole issue. Is that what we're here, they're there, so we don't really feel the pain, or we're sort of like removed from it. The only connection is to the news, and we go, then we put it down. We go back to our own life. So it's. But the truth
let's say b'chlolos to fit in exactly what's going on in Eretz Yisrael now into this Ma'amer or into the process of the revelation of Mashiach is a little bit above my pay grade, so I'm not going to be able to do that. But b'chlolos, look, what's going on in Eretz Yisrael is definitely a call to action. It's definitely a call that everybody has to change, and we have to change fundamentally the way we view things and in who we place our trust. But over here in the Ma'amer, he's not talking about that situation. He's talking about the opposite situation. He's talking about what about the fact that you have everything that you need. Now there's something that started unfortunately over 7 months already, that's bothering every single year because of an Indian of Agzeda and an Indian of Mesiris Nefesh Taka. In this Ma'amer, though, he's not talking about that situation. He's talking about the general situation that existed before and that we hope will return very, very soon. We're in the Golus, the way it is, where everything is good. You have what you need. Okay? So in this time of Golus, where he has Archava Begashmis and Archava Beruchnis, and still he's crushed. Why is that? What's the true ratzon? What's the true desire of every single? What's important to a yid? In the end of the day, after you peel back all of the layers of all of the things that he runs around in, busies himself in this world, and all of the things that seem to be important to him, but you peel it all back, what's really the one thing that's truly important to him, and nothing else matters beyond that? That is that he wants gilelikus. A yid wants gilelikus. To the degree that to have gilelikus is negate to the essence of who he is and of what he is. This then at the time of Golus, even though he has everything he needs, but still gilelikus there isn't. The way it used to be in the time of the Beis Hamikdash, especially if he contemplates the fact that Chazal say that if the Beis Hamikdash wasn't built in your time, so it's not like an old story and something we got used to already, but it's rather something that happened as if it happened now in his times. The Rebbe famously quotes this in the Keravel Teinsiche. So from this, that he can't have Gilei Likus, this so disturbs him that his entire being becomes crushed and shaken. And even if we're talking about an individual who, because he is on such a lofty level, he has Gilei Likus the way it was in the time of the Beis Hamikdash. And there was Mitzayin, like Beimin is coming up, Al Derech Rashbi, that to him it was like before the Churban of it was like as if the Beis Hamikdash was never destroyed. From this, that this revelation that this tzaddik experiences doesn't shine in the rest of the world. It proves and it forces us to say that also the revelation that the tzaddik has is not an infinite and unlimited gilu. Why? Because when the Ein Sof Bligvul, the infinite and boundless light of the Eibishter shines, so then it comes everywhere because it's infinite, it's boundless, it has no boundaries, it has no limitations. It will shine everywhere, and therefore, if it's shining by the tzaddik, it would shine all over the rest of the world. And from this, that it's not, even if it's shining everywhere, but for one forsaken, forlorn corner of the world, we see because the revelation that's being experienced in the other places is a limited one, it has boundaries. And that's why it doesn't reach everywhere. And when the tzaddik realizes this, so he understands, this yid understands that the revelation of Elikus that he's experiencing is not the ultimate revelation of Elikus. We'll skip the brackets. And from this, that the yid isn't experiencing the revelation of Atzmus Ein Sof, he's broken and crushed, and he's in the state of kasus. As it's known, that chayla, the numerical value of chayla is 49. Even a person who comprehended and grasped and reached the 49 levels of bina, which by the way corresponds to the 49 spheres that we count during these days of Sfiras HaOmer. However, this person has everything, but he's just missing the final and last level. It's so disturbing and it's so meaningless to him that he's pashat sick over it, literally, physically. The Yadua Mashakasav Tzemach Tzedek Nishma Mimerena Rabbeinu Nishma Seiden Admon Azaken. Ich will sehr gar nicht. Ich will nicht dein Gan Eden. Ich will nicht dein Elam Habe. Ich will mehr nicht als dich allein. And as the Tzemach Tzedek told us that it was common to hear, like the Rebbe will touch in a moment, from the Alter Rebbe to say that the Alter Rebbe says, I'm not interested in your Elam Haba, I'm not interested in your Gan Eden. I want nothing other than you alone. In other words, what the Alter Rebbe is saying over here is that he's not interested in any of the Geluim, that the Eibishter could give him all of the highest revelations of Elikus and it won't satisfy him, it won't quench his thirst. The only thing that he's interested in is there should be Gila Atzmas Ein Sof. And through this, that the Alter Rebbe was heard saying this. The Pirush Haya Nishma, which is and from the way that Tzemach Tzedek expressed himself, we can understand that it wasn't only something that was heard on a few select times, but it was a common thing to hear the Alter Rebbe say this, especially after this feeling of a yid, this level of dedication to Gilui Likus of a yid was publicized through the Tzemach Tzedek, so nitan hakeichel kol echad ve'echad misol shikar ritzvena yeh gilui ha'atzmus. Every single yid was given the ability, the kayach, that his main ratzon should be the revelation of atzmus. V'ad kedei kach, to the degree she'ein meir gilui zeh, umikoshken b'zman ha'galus, then never mind, we don't have the gilui of atzmus. She'ein meir afilu ha'gilui, gilui oir sharei b'zman ha'bayis, we don't even have the revelation of the levels of light that existed during the times of the Beis Hamikdash. U'b'matzav dekasis, he finds himself in a situation where he feels completely crushed and broken. Okay, so what do we have over here? We have over this idea that a yid, because of his discussions atzmus with the likus that we mentioned earlier in the Maimer, so what's his true ratzon? What does he want? And without that, he can't live. He wants that it should be gilui likus. That's what a yid mitzad his etzem and neshama truly wants. Now you're going to say like this. You're going to say, but I'm not at that level. And I'm looking at Yidden and I see up as, they're busy trying to figure out how to make money to pay the bills, or to make money to do more mitzvahs, to give more tzedakah with it, or they're taking care of their family, or they're taking care of themselves. They seem to be interested in a lot of things. So taka, this is a very, very high level. And the first thing that David says over here is that you should know that we were given the kayach to access this level through the Alter Rebbe, and then through the Tzemach Tzedek, and the pastors through the Rebbeim. That they give us the kayach, that we should be able to reveal this level and this ratzon to a likus that completely breaks our life, drives us insane if we don't have this revelation of a likus in our life. And to the degree, and the yid requests every day at least 3 times. Says in davening, again and again and again, that our eyes should see the Eibishter return to Yerushalayim with mercy. In others, we should have the Gilui Likus. What's the Yeser? When do you say it more? So on the day that you have Musaf, either a Shabbos, a Yom Tov, or a Shchedesh, or Chol Hamoed, so you say it 4 times. And then on Yom Kippur, you have Ne'ilah, so you say V'sechazena 5 times. And the V'yashayimrim, that also when within the 30 days when you switch over from Merid Atol to Mashvarok Merid Geshem, sometimes you could also end up saying Shmoneh more than 3 times. So you say V'sechazena Inenu quite a few times a day. So we have like this.
Be careful how you talk about how many people you just spoke about.
Myself. I only met myself.
Look how many people you spoke about now.
Now, I was just reading. What you're saying, by the way, over here is the heart of the Geras Hashmad of the Rambam. It's no time to get into it, but basically, there was this yid that basically wrote off all of Moroccan Jewry. He just wrote them off as non-believers. It's a ganz lange thing to get into it. And Rambam writes in the Geras Hashmad, he writes, look what happened to Moshe Rabbeinu. The Yidden weren't exactly in the highest level of observance of Torah mitzvahs in Mitzrayim, but Moshe Rabbeinu spoke negatively about them, and the Eibishter told them off. And then Eliyahu Hanavi spoke negatively about the Yidden. There were only 7,000 Yidden who didn't serve the Baal. Okay, that was the low spiritual state of the Yidden. And Eliyahu Hanavi said negative things about the Yidden. The Eibishter told him off. Yeshaya Hanavi also spoke negatively about the Yidden, and it's slipping out.
Don't have to talk about it.
And then a Malach spoke negatively about the Yidden. The Eibishter told him off. This is what the Rambam is writing. How dare this person speak negatively about the Yidden? I don't care what you say they're doing. Never mind that you misunderstood that what they're doing is not bad. That the Rambam continues to say later. But first he says, how dare you speak negatively about a Yidden? To be so, I accept what you said.
I believe that you meant yourself.
But I'm a Yid also.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
Some people don't even repent. They don't down again.
This is a mind. Okay. So what do we have over here? Like this. V'zehu kasis lamoed. And this is pshat kasis, that when a Yid is crushed, you see the moed, you see the etzem and neshama. Through this, that the Yidden are crushed from the fact alone that they are in Galus. This gives them no rest, and they're disturbed, and they can't find peace. So through this, you come to the Moed. Why? Because why taka is it that it crushes a Yid? when there is no Gila Likus. Ki zeh sheratzin kol echad misol hu Gila Likus batches zenegeh le'etzem mitziyusei shalachein hu nishmer v'nitke kasus mizeh shebizman agolos lo yesh Gila Likus mitzad etzem haneshama. This ratzin, and that it's negayat to him to the core of what he is, that he can't find peace, even if everything is going great. He's a billionaire, everything is good. Nevertheless, he can't find peace. That's mitzad his etzem haneshama. The etzem haneshama knows of nothing else. That's when the Neshama says, I don't care about your seichel, I don't care about your midas. It's all good things. But I am connected to Likus. That's when the Neshama is mekusher to Likus betachlis, and all it wants is to live in that space, to live in that world, to feel its iskashus, to Likus. And when it doesn't have it, the entire person falls apart. If he's connected to his Etzem Neshama, if his Etzem Neshama can be revealed and can be expressed in his day-to-day life, so then he'll feel that crushing force. And that started first with Alter Rebbe telling us his famous Bartach Vil Garnish. And we'll see soon how it continues. So Mitzad Etzem HaNeshama, Moishe ben Neshama, she's kashrus, because he's kashrus. Atzmus Rebbe says again, and therefore it's completely crushed when he loses it. Okay, so to summarize, if we want to, just from the vantage point of L'chor of what Rebbe's main thrust in the Maimer is, that we're talking over here about the Gili of the Etzem HaNeshama. That's what this Maimer is all about, and how the Rebbe is Megala the Etzem HaNeshama. So he said so far 3 ways. One way is through Moshe Rabbeinu. The Moshe Rabbeinu reveals that Etzem HaNeshama and this, that the Yid has das and elikus. The second way is through his pashtus of the Moshe. So b'chol der v'der, that even though there's gzeres, there's mesiras nefesh, the Yidden still stand strong and hold on to their Torah and mitzvahs and perform it with pride and open and out in the street without any compromise. So that's an expression of the Etzem HaNeshama, and that was done through the pashtus of the Moshe in the times of gzeres. Then you have our times, when there are no gzeres, or at least there were no gzeres until 7 months ago. And still Yidden are saying, we want Mashiach now, Ad Masav Sechzene, name it 3 times or more in davening, until the situation in Eretz Yisrael started. Knis Galel. So, nevertheless, he's standing and he's insisting, I need Mashiach. I can't rest, I can't live, I need Mashiach. This is another expression of the Etzem HaNeshama. Because what's forcing him? When he has everything he needs, he could go to Disneyland. Pesach, you want to go to Disneyland, Pesach, we have you covered. Wherever you want, you have everything's taken care of. Everything is beautiful and wonderful. When can is ruined and he can't let anybody else rest, he makes everybody else crazy also. Why is this? It's because of his Etzem HaNeshama. This is a revelation, this is an expression of his Etzem HaNeshama that says, I need to be connected to Likus and I need it now, and without that, I'm not going to let anything be. So that's another way that Etzem HaNeshama is revealed.
What stage is he talking about?
Our times. What do you mean? He's talking about our times.
That you're walking, you're really walking.
That's the update of now. We're going to get to it. As we get to the end of the Bible, we'll get there.
Together.
We'll get there.
Okay.
Yeah, no, the Rebbe doesn't leave us hanging. That will be that. It's too long. Okay, we didn't do it in one. We didn't do it in one go.
But the next one we have to finish it.
All right.